Hey, John Hope Bryant. This is the How You Come Up series. How You Come Up. So, no profiling, okay? Somebody sent me something today. It was just brilliant. It was a photo of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, who I just spent time with a couple weeks ago. The photos on my Instagram page and my Facebook page. You want to check it out. The photo said like $180 billion between them and not a Gucci built in sight. It's so true. Not a Gucci built in sight. Translation. These are folks who got some real money and they dress like average Joes. Almost look like they dress from Walmart. They're not trying to dress down. It's just that investment was not, that money spent was not a return on investment, so they didn't do it. So don't spend any money profiling, trying to impress people you don't know with things you can't afford, in areas that don't matter, in ways they're not going to be a return on investment, with things that don't move the needle. So you don't go get in business and go lease a car, because if you take your limited investment capital, or worse, loan capital from a loan from the SBA or something, because you think that it's that to be a businessman you need to, or a businesswoman you need to look the part, quote unquote. So you go lease a Mercedes, but when you don't have the income for that, then when your outflow exceeds your inflow, then your overhead is going to be your downfall. I'm going to repeat that. When your outflow exceeds your inflow, then your overhead is going to be your downfall. And your Mercedes turns into Mercedes payments, okay? Because you can't afford it. Somebody told me a story today of how his brother was going to do some a luxury transport business, sort of forgot to build relationships with the folks who are in charge of making transport decisions, end up with not enough revenue, not enough income for this 2-car transporter. And versus trying to figure out how to build relationships with people who book that kind of business and spend his time there, this dude went out and got not a 2-car transporter, which he could afford. He went out and got a 6-car transporter with all the bells and whistles, because he somehow thought that having a fancier rig, a fancier truck, would generate more revenue. No, it actually bankrupted the company, or almost did. Luckily, the brother in this example who guaranteed the loan was smart enough to say stop and to sell that rig to some guy in Texas and got his money back before they imploded. Minority businesses, people who have been put upon, those who've been left behind, those who feel invisible. Sometimes we get the wrong memo on what's important in business, and we start profiling, buying Gucci bags, buying Louis Vuitton, leasing fancy cars, trying to unless you're a rapper, okay, or somebody in the entertainment business, or somebody who's a baller in professional sports, and somehow your brand is enhanced by you flossing with all that stuff on, unless it's your business to floss, and a rapper is like the best example of that, then just don't do it. Because a proper businessman or businesswoman, not only do you not get any credit for that, you actually start making yourself look bad. Because you don't want to roll up as a 100-aire or a 1,000-aire trying to look like a millionaire or a billionaire, and roll up on a real billionaire who's driving a Toyota. And you're trying to get investment out of that person. What they're going to think is, my money's going into your toys. I'm not giving you any money. That's what they're thinking. One of my boys, I don't want to use names because these people would actually identify themselves real quickly in this story. One of my boys, who's a really famous entertainer, worth about $50 million, a lot of money, was in his Bentley 4-door SUV with a driver. Again, all good. He could afford a driver. I'm not hating on him. It's all good. But he rolled up on my billionaire friend who was in a old Mercedes SUV that he was driving himself, right next to him. My billionaire friend rolled down the window and said, "Hey man, you want to trade cars?" And my guy was like, no, I'm good, not recognizing that the guy who was joking with him could buy and sell the whole block 10 times over. The guy who was in the Mercedes beat up SUV that's paid for is worth $6 billion, that's with a B. And my dude, the entertainer, was worth $50 million, which again is still great. But this is bugging me. But you get the story, right? And by the way, the guy who was worth $50 million, he's successful, right? And he cannot make another dime his entire life. Yeah, man. I want it proper. And he's going to be fine, right? But if you but he's also an entertainer. That's how he makes his money. That's his business, right? To floss, to look good as part of his image. The billionaire dude, right? He don't need to impress anybody. In fact, when I go to hang out with him, folks don't even know who he is, but he can buy everybody around him 3 times over financially, and you don't have a clue who he is, and he likes it like that. I'm just saying, well, I will put the photo on my Instagram and in my Facebook of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. It's brilliant. They're worth 150 billion plus, and you don't see a Gucci built in sight. Don't spend your time profiling or trying to be something you're not, to impress people with something you don't have, about things that don't matter, with people who can't do a thing for you. It's like going to a networking reception, right? You'll never find Warren Buffett at a networking reception. Who are you gonna find at a networking reception? Folks who can't do a thing for you. Everybody's not trying to get a card, they're trying to give a card, and then then everybody takes their cards and put them in the shelf somewhere or in a drawer and never touch it again and never follows up. That'll be another video on how to come up. I'm gonna do one just on following up. Let me know you like this series, pass it on, share it, and this is one of my longest ones, so let me know where this was helpful. I'm out. John Hope Bryant. Peace. Go to Operation Hope. Our services are free. All hope insides. Go get your life back and your civil rights too.